Again. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here for the ARC Formula 1 broadcast of the Auto Racing Connected Formula 1 League. That was good. Anyway, here at the Vietnamese Grand Prix, race 16. I'm struggling with remembering how to do this because I've had 2 weeks off and suddenly my brain's like, oh, how the heck do we broadcast again? Anyway, it just wouldn't be me broadcasting if I didn't look like a moron for at least about 5 minutes of it. So yeah, we're just getting a little bit late into qualifying because we already had a failed broadcast attempt where the internet was just like, oh yeah, no, don't do that. But yeah, as the broadcast might have already picked him up, but I have a co-commentator as well this time.
Oh, is this when I talk? Hello.
Yes, this is when he talks. This is Connor Suchel, the current points leader in AF2, but also had his first off race as we actually have our camera on the person who won that AF2 race. It was a very hectic race, and I can only hope that today's Formula 1 action will be even half as chaotic, because otherwise we're going to be in here for a bit of a snooze festival.
I think we're going to be in for a good show regardless today. I mean, I'm still quite, well, I don't like losing, I don't think anyone does, but when I lose in the way that I did, yeah, I'm still on the cooldown from that, so I'm a little bit wound up still.
So you might be a bit of James Hunt mode, huh?
Nah, I should be alright as soon as I start seeing my drivers doing well, hopefully in qualifying. Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a showing today. Vietnam definitely not the easiest in terms of on the setup side. Very easy to outbrake yourself as well, but in terms of track limits, not that difficult at all being street circuit. You know, you've got your white lines at the side and then there's a concrete wall. You can't really corner cut anywhere, and the only chances I think you can get at corner cuts, you might want to hesitate reporting that to the stewards because you probably deserve it if you manage to get a corner cutting penalty around it.
So we're on board with Tyler McIntosh, who is filling in for Connor Hannick's seat as he could not attend the AF. Oh, actually, no, wait, this is never mind. Forgot we had AF2 as the thing, so Connor Hannick isn't an AF1 driver. This is normally Ayrton Del Santos driving this car, but McIntosh is filling in. I didn't actually catch who was the first to start their lap, but I think it's the other Mercedes, actually. Yeah, so Caden Bright's going to be the first one. No, it's an Alfa. No, it's Dylan Swiss Carpenter. Yeah, I got there.
Going purple predictably, let's hope he has a little bit of a better race this time around. In qualifying, I'm quite shocked of how good he was. I'd like to see how he plays up against stronger competition.
And his provisional lap is going to be a 35 flat. Let's see if Caden Bright automatically knocks that out, the 34.7. Does McIntosh do the same? No, but that's on a medium lap. He runs a 37.4. Also, Liam Carra, also on mediums, runs a 35.1. Mikey DeJong's first lap, he takes pole with 33.7. So, almost an entire second fat. And then here comes Cameron Dowd to the 33.3. I can
So I like to see, lads. Well done.
Just wait until my drivers get out of the pit lane.
Who are your drivers? What team are you looking at?
We are Ferrari, so we're Tristan Adams and Dylan Van Alzen. Even though one of your drivers was originally one of my drivers, but we'll ignore that for the moment.
No, it's fine. We can discuss that after the stream or something, but yeah, he's, all I say is I think we've all got a good taste in drivers.
Well, the two I have currently were not my original choices. Also, Tyler McIntosh, who is on my team invariably, is not driving for me. So
Just trying to see who else will be on a flyer.
Most people aren't.
Ninja on a lap. Oh, yeah, Chemical Ninja going purple in Sector 1.
Oh,
lap already.
Yeah, he's, well, I mean, the purple sectors in this game, they can lie sometimes. I don't really put too much stock in that all the time.
Yeah, no, you probably will be the quickest going through Sector 1, but it's only really if it's purple Sector 2 as well, which is when you might need to pay a little bit of attention. I'm just trying to think where most of the time you can gain. Corner accuracy through the second sector, because it's mainly a massive straight. Challenges of the first sector, just hit your braking zones, and the third sector is how well balanced the car is through those high-speed S's.
And now he's purple in Sector 2, but he just got super loose out of that braking zone, so I don't know how that will affect that. Swiss Carpenter has retired from the session, but that's in the pit lane, I think. And a bit of understeer through these S's, but that's better than oversteer.
There's a lot of control there in the racing point, I'll give him that.
And he will run a 34.4, so either those sectors were...
Maybe, I think he could have found half a second, because he has lost a fair amount of time in the final sector. He did look like he was taking it a bit cautiously, but okay, it'll be a confidence thing, he just needs to kind of go around a little bit.
I mean, I suppose probably be conservative, make sure you get a lap in, and then worry about going for pole on further attempts. As the game really seems to believe that Caden Bright says the fastest lap. He doesn't anymore. I don't know why race control is so so intent on telling me this disproven statement, but here we are. Oh, he's not even on the lap. I can probably watch somebody who is, such as Kyler Boggs. He and Ichi Kaneko were in the booth for the AF2 race, and well, now I don't envy having to talk and then immediately having to drive. There's a reason why I retired from F1 to start commentating, so I don't really... I do not envy their position as doing both at the same time. And on this really long straightaway, it's, you know, I guess Sector 2 is definitely the aero sector. How little aero are you daring to run in a track that basically looks like a maze? Tighter than his teammate to the second to last big braking zone on the racetrack. Creative with gears. This is also very conservative based on the fact he was in 7th for some of the S's. There's my guy. There's Tristan Adams running another 5.5 tenths above the rest of the field. What does Boggs run? A 34.6.
Say just go through which one's that outlet. I don't think anyone's really pushing now on a flyer. They're all about to start the next few laps. Liam Carrick, I think he's on a fine lap now.
I was actually at my camera on De Jong, who just began his, but I'll also look at Liam, who's no longer on those tires. That's the wrong detail. Oh my god, my throat is being really not ready right now. I'm very, very cautious through that weird roundabout thing. Game, can we get this? There we go. I fixed it. I just have to take the UI away and put it back, and now the game is caught up with current events. There's a yellow in Sector 2, but luckily this isn't real life. You don't have to slow down for that.
Ooh, a little bit deep of the hairpin for Liam.
And that costs a little bit of time. If there's a corner to miss, that's probably one of the least dangerous ones to miss. But
well, purple sector 2 nonetheless, but a little bit of traffic in the third sector.
I don't really think it was in his way too much.
Used to know, I reckon that going a bit deep, it's probably cost him at least a quarter of a second.
And he heads through the last turn. What will he? He'll produce a wall bang, and he'll produce 33.4. So I imagine he probably could have been on the front row if he didn't miss the hairpin, to say the least.
Yeah, I think a very high 32. I think he was on for a 32.9 there.
And now we will switch to Mikey De Jong, who runs a 33.4 as well. And got very close for second right now, between second and fourth. And then here comes, I didn't catch his name, but the other Alfa Romeo driver that almost won the AF2 race. He runs a 33.2. Man, if he's running laps like that to keep up with the AF1 guys, why is he in 2? Well, it makes you wonder. Then again, I the same thing about you. They're just the questions of the universe. Anyway, that's a different conversation. Who else is on an actual lap right now? We have, I've also forgotten his name, hang on. It's all marked in the Discord now, and it just makes me feel even more dumb that I don't remember some of these names.
Who's it who you're on board with?
The Red Bull driver.
Craig Nook?
Oh yeah, that is correct, thank you. Craig Nock, I was like, oh, come on, I should know this name. He's AJ's other AF2 driver, and he's filling in for Red Bull, which nobody has been driving, nobody's driven a Red Bull in AF1 since, like, period. They've all been reserve drivers. Echo Racing, the team that actually runs Red Bull, has been MIA for several weeks in a row, and I really wonder how they still keep the ride. He's down the huge back straightaway. There's a car ahead of him, but I don't know if that car is on the lap or not. It's one of the racing points. Could be Christian, who appears to be on a fast lap. He must be. If he's on overtake, he kind of has to be on a fast lap, so this will complicate matters for Craig. Maybe even just a little bit. But a little bit's all you need to miss the S's and total your vehicle. I'm not really sure if dirty air range is accurate in this game to what it is in real life. From here, you'd be getting it in real life. I don't know if the game does it the same, though. So, Christian and Pacheco will run only a tenth faster. Craig Nock will move up a couple of spots to a 34.6. Magic Nickel is not on a lap. Not exactly sure what he's doing here. Did he? Oh, I think he dropped a lap or something. He lets Carter Ritchie go by, who's much slower than everyone else other than Tyler's run a lap. I'm not really sure McIntosh intends on getting on the track again or what. Interesting from Liam Craig, who, I mean, I guess it's an out lap, I suppose it doesn't matter, but that still looked kind of weird. Speaking of Kyler Boggs, very not, okay, well, that's the end of his lap. He got incredibly loose out of the first roundabout, and I don't think he'll be continuing with that. Somebody just moved, I don't see who.
Just been like chewed to that front wing of the racing point.
And we finally have excuse me, Dylan Van Olsen on the racetrack. And okay, this was supposed to be a hot lap, but I guess he just couldn't make the turn, so he's like, alright, heck with it, I'm just gonna not make it. Christian pushing on the in lap and pushes the wall at the same time. Carter Ritchie with a bit of an improvement. He'll make a 34.9, leaving only AJ and Tyler outside of the 35s or above. Or outside of the 35s or slower, rather. Above would make it seem like it's a better thing. I guess we'll shift our focus to the lead drivers who are about to begin their laps, such as Liam, who's just started his probably final attempt. I don't think he'd get...
it will be. You won't have enough time after this run.
So this is everyone's final runs here, unless you're already in the middle of the lap, in which case it would be very close to make another lap, but I don't even think you'd make it under those circumstances. We'll see what Liam does through the first sector of the track.
A little bit down, not too worried, because his first and second sectors were actually okay. It was the third sector where he was
needed to find. Trying to watch the map.
Slowly at the end of the straight.
I think that might be Jonathan Parker at the end of the straight, considering that's the only Haas.
One of the Alfa Romeos, that would have been Ollie Durst.
Certainly does the hairpin better on this attempt, so now he just has to get through the S's. You know, the hardest part of the track, in my eyes. Of course, my opinion on that is not terribly authoritative, because I've barely ever driven this track.
Ooh,
That is not what you
too
want.
close to the wall. Should be okay. Like, maybe a few tenths left on the table, bit too much curb as well, but seems to be flowing nicely. How much does he attack this final corner to the limit? Gets a better drive. PT
33-1. Front row, but still unable to reach the margin that Tristan Adams has made. Johnny Parker has retired from the session. I don't know if that was intended or not. Oh yeah, it was. He ran his lap. He ran a 34.3.
I'm riding on board with Cameron Dowds, by the way. He's 3 tenths up through the middle sector, only going faster.
We'll just watch him. We will keep the camera on him through the S's. I don't know, locks up through that braking zone. I wish I knew corner numbers so I could be a little more specific on what that corner is, but I do not know them.
Yeah, I don't know if you're one of these people. I prefer it if the corners have names, because if I said you turn 16 round Hanoi, you're probably not going to know off the top of your head where that is unless you're looking at a track map.
A bit of an awkward exit of the last turn. He's not going to improve.
What was that? He just lifted out the final corner.
I guess we'll put the camera now on your other driver, Mikey De Jong, who's about to begin his next lap. He's making his way through the third sector now.
Anyone else still on a run?
Dylan Van Alsem and his teammate and the other Ferrari are about to also start theirs.
Ollie Durst coming across the line, see if he improves. He doesn't. That's his qualifying over.
And so I just saw Tristan Adams actually letting his teammate go before he begins his lap. Somebody just fell. So yeah, here we go. Here's basically the final gauntlet for the drivers who have not yet completed their laps. Liam at some point improved again to a 32.9. That was not his previous lap, so he ran another lap on those same tires. That might be condemning later on.
Oh, come on.
Dylan Van Alsem up on his previous Sector 1 time. Takes all of
stationary
those
Ferrari
curves.
down there at turn 2. That's yeah, reads.
Yeah.
Oh my god, man.
I guess cooked tires.
Yeah, a lot of hot tires.
Must be the heat. And, oh, my camera Dowd's already done with his lap, so we'll just put the camera back on De Jong here as he heads towards the final sector. He's massively purple on his Sector 2. That was a brand new sentence. First half of the S's are about in order.
They're very clean, very, very clean. That car's hooked up nicely.
And just one more corner to make, and we'll see if he can challenge for pole here.
Drive, just hit. Perfect on the track limits, P3.
33-1. And now here comes Van Alsem to be the last contestant for pole, and he's not going to get anywhere near it. He's actually only barely going to improve his previous. As
Liam Carrage coming in the pits, Restyle may want to retire. Liam Carrage did actually get into the 32.9s.
I pointed that out. He proved again, running a second lap on that same set of soft tires, but I think that might be a bit condemning later in the race.
Oh, Restyle, come on, man. I apologise if I don't know everyone's names yet. I know I probably should do that.
This is Tristan Adams, who's trying to make his way to the pits with no front wing at this point. He manages to survive, but he was ultimately just kind of wasting time. Connor Hannock has apparently joined the race and has now left the race. He was a McLaren, but now he's not going to be in the race.
Is he scheduled to be in the race?
He originally wasn't, but then I guess it was probably told he could reserve since he's not technically on Mercedes now after the whole AF1-2 split. So that is qualifying. And not AJ's best qualifying performance. He's down there in 11th. His teammate a second and a half upwards.
That's a very tight midfield though, from 7th all the way down to P13 is when they're about a half second away from each other.
Yeah, well, as ever with F1, we've got sort of class warfare. We've got the top 6 are within a second, top 5 within half a second, but 7th through 12th is only a tenth apart. And then we have everybody else, and then I don't think Ty McIntosh is even in the lobby at the moment. I don't know. He seemed to be struggling with his car in qualifying, so I don't know if he just like packed it up for the day, took his winnings and left, or what. I guess he doesn't really have much to commit to because he's just a reserve anyway. At this point, reserving concerning yourself with championship points is sort of foregone because we are already 16 races into the season. It's not like you'll be competing for a great spot on the standings table when you've already missed more than half the season.
Anyway, I do have the standings on standby.
Now, that's something I never do. It's ironic because the one time I did bring up the standings, it wasn't even worth looking at because Lee Kelly had such a massive lead in points it was almost like not even worth bringing up. But Lee Kelly is not even at this race, so
yeah. If I'm honest, with Lee Kelly being absent today, not a lot is still going to change. He has a monumental lead in the driver's standing. That's Lee Kelly driving for SHR Esports, the Alpha Romeo. Currently leading the way on 238 points, and second place in championship, Liam Karag. Driving for T44, he's on 158, proving how much of an advantage Lee Kelly has. And then Mike de Jong, P3 for New Horizons Racing Team, 134. He's got a 104 point deficit despite the championship leader not being here. But failing that, it's really tight in the constructors. It's very close between three best teams, you could argue, in AF1 at the moment. SHR Esports leading the way on 277 points. New Horizons not that far behind on 264, and T44 249. Actually, In Pursuit Esports in the racing point, they're on 229, so they're not exactly out of the running either. They need to start pulling the weight a little bit if they want to stay in contention.
As we finish up the formation lap, apparently Connor Hannock and Tyler McIntosh, their cars are in the race, but they're not being controlled by them. It's their AI. So
yeah,
that'll be interesting.
If they join on the formation lap, the moment the lights come on, that's when the game will give them control of the cars. So they might have bad starts being at the back of the grid. But if they can take part, then.
As Connor Hannock has rejoined the lobby, so I think he'll be taking part. But McIntosh is nowhere to be seen, so I don't think that car will be occupied. Get the external camera, which I really need to start using it more. I'm fully aware. It's just that sometimes the camera work doesn't really let me see what's going on. It's like even sometimes the race start camera isn't even looking like backwards at the grid, so it's looking like it's behind the grid and you can't even see the leaders. I don't know if we'll get an example of that as the lights go up or not, but I remember last week I literally couldn't do that because the camera was so weird.
Right. It's gonna be a.
And we have 3, 4, 5 red lights, and we are green from the Vietnamese Grand Prix. As the Ferrari of Tristan Adams gets away well, the camera just reset itself on me. I don't know why I just did that, but here comes Liam Karag challenging for the lead as they head towards the first set of corners. The threat has not really done anything though. We have Tristan Adams breaking away a little bit, and it's already kind of getting single file, except for Van Alzen too wide with, I assume that to be I don't know numbers.
Dylan Van Alzen.
Well, I know that one. I don't know which one of your drivers he's too wide with, but he will pull ahead of the Renault.
Cameron does.
Yeah, so I have the UI off on my screen for the stream, so... that's the wrong car. I'm trying to spectate the Racing Points, who were too wide just now. I think he'd be foolish to try and pass here if you're whatever Racing Point's in the back. But apparently I don't think... Oh, never mind. Nope. We got too wide again. Caden Bright's too wide with Johnny Parker. That's going to be interesting. I don't know what'll come of that. I think... No, Caden Bright does the opposite of back out. He's actually going to force the issue. Oh my god, we got Cameron Dowd's loose there. Loose, this isn't NASCAR.
There. Just so Cameron can keep his cool a little bit, he can get a little bit wound up when things like this happen.
And they're still too wide through the S's. Cameron Dowds, I think, may survive and hold on to 8th. Christian Pacheco trying to force his way in, and apparently some things have happened at the front too. I was looking back there. Tristan, oh wait, no, never mind. This is the stupid formation lap glitch that always happens. Cameron Dowds is not the leader, but because the formation lap confuses the game's timing, Christian Pacheco just gets into Parker and his teammate in the same corner, and continues to push his teammate wide through the roundabout. And once they all hit the first sector, that will straighten out. But Mikey de Jong is the leader.
Yeah, he's checked out ahead of Liam Carrick.
Not exactly sure what happened with Tristan Adams to cause him to lose the lead. I don't know if he spun or something.
More than likely, if it's anything like the AF2 race, it's that little bend, I think, in turn 3. It's a little kink just before the straight. It can be quite difficult on traction. You wouldn't be surprised if it's got a bit too trigger happy on the accelerator and he's just lost the positions. But he's still in contention, at least for a podium. See if it plans out in his method for the race win. There's still good driving from the top 3. It seems to be a bit clean despite the change of positions.
Yeah, if Carter Ritchie forcing the issue on Koenig, never mind. He does not force the issue. He doesn't get the chance. Doesn't get the exit necessary to challenge.
Dylan wheel to wheel. I think that Ferrari is carrying end plate damage, and indeed it is.
I forgot to turn this stuff back on. Let's see here. To look at the stops. I already know he's the only person that's in. Andrew Koenig with an interesting strategy here at the beginning of the race. He's begun the race on hard tires. I don't know really
I didn't even think that was possible. Well, we've got someone
out of the race.
Yeah, he's retired. Yeah, it's a Mercedes at the back. He has retired in the pit lane.
No. Okay, so then it doesn't matter.
Change positions. There's a Ferrari. It's your driver, mate. He's been spun coming out of turn 4. Oh, he's been disqualified.
Oh, this game makes perfect sense.
That's really unfair.
It wouldn't be NFR if we weren't getting screwed.
What's he supposed to do, you know? He's like trying to turn his car the right way.
It's like part of me is like, these are my drivers, it's my team, so I would want them to do well. At the same time, I don't always sign these drivers. So it's just like, I'm used to it at this point. And I think Swiss Carpenter just knocked part of his wing off on my other remaining driver, Dylan. Dylan's continuing to argue. And here it comes back at him down the main straightaway. He gets around him before we even get to the DRS zone.
Yeah, he seems to, I don't know, I saw his ERS light flashing, there's no reason. Oh my god, that's some hell of a dive bomb. Nah, that was silly, man. Come on.
Yeah. I'm not associating myself with that.
Oh my god. I might even need to clip my race, I don't know if you'll see what I'm seeing.
No, I'm not seeing what you're seeing, I don't think.
The Ferrari just went straight on into the barriers, reversed.
Oh no, I saw that crash, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not associating with that.
Anyway, is there any better fights we can see? Liam Krog potentially going to challenge MDJ down this long DRS straight.
Dijon got a huge exit out of the second roundabout, or if that a hairpin, I don't really know which one it is, but Krug's got quite a bit of work to do if he's going to get up to him. He's got plenty of ERS to do the job with, he just doesn't use it, I guess.
Yeah, I know it's not exactly the easiest to regain the ERS. Because even in medium, the long straights and the high speed sections, even in medium, it is still a little bit draining.
I don't know why they don't have none as an option. Like,
yeah, I kind of miss that. Just like turning it off so you can regen it at your heart's content. But it's going to be interesting when we head to the new game. We're not even going to have control of the fuel mix either.
Yeah, the early doors here, this race has not been... I mean, you still got plenty of race to go. I guess I can't really speak too presumptuously. I think that's the word I'm looking for. But it's kind of already getting into a bit of a Congo line here. There's not really any on-track battles. I don't think you can really afford to have them here because there's just not enough space sometimes.
You don't really want them too early on anyway, because it just means people are costing themselves time. But I do know the soft stint runners at this time will be about halfway through, so maybe in the next lap or so they'll be feeling a bit of tyre wear. I don't know if anyone started on the mediums.
A few drivers have.
Maybe, yeah, the likes of those guys in the next lap or two, they could make a few inroads, but obviously with all the soft runners being as far in front of them, could see a bit more action in the midfield, but we'll see when that happens. I still don't think AJ has made the right call on starting on the hards. They are like the worst race tyre in the game around this point.
And Liam Krog is going to try and send it on the outside of Mikey De Jong. He's not really going to get any results there.
Mikey did cover him off pretty well. I think Mikey is also struggling a little on his ERS and might need to calm it down a bit.
Yeah, but to probably defend from DRS, so he's having to use more, but then Mikey is... Liam, yes, Mikey is having to use more ERS than Mikey is. Oh my god, there's a Rikerism for you, and they always talk about it on Facebook and such. There it is. There's a yellow in Sector 1, I don't know...
Craig Nook has had a moment coming out of turn 4.
No, I see. Is he missing part of his end plate? I'm not sure. Couldn't really tell
This two-way fight for the lead is very nearly a three-way fight, because Ollie Durst is now caught up to Liam Curry.
They've begun to fight, and obviously, as you said, you're losing time when you do that, even if you're the leader. So things are going to get dicey for the lead.
Kind of the worst-case scenario here for Liam, because he's obviously trying to make inroads on Mikey in front, but he's got to deal with Ollie behind.
Oh, well, Ollie has just gotten very, very loose through there, so...
Very difficult. I think these roundabout corners, there's nothing like them on the calendar, they are very difficult.
ERS active. Mikey with pretty much no ERS, so he's just going to defend the inside and hope to God. And...
a little bit of a move to the middle, but that was okay. Not the best exit out the corner.
And almost spin. That was terrifying. I don't know how they didn't crash there, to be perfectly honest with you. But Mikey De Jong somehow remains the leader. Ollie Durst, I'm having to learn so many names with the penalty.
3-second penalty though. He has been. I've been riding on board from the last couple of laps. That was kind of deserved. Oh, Liam in already. That's the undercut strategy.
I said that the undercut strategy, you got wing damage from running into this wheel of the leader.
Nah, that wouldn't have caused damage. It was just a little bit wheel banging, but shouldn't be any damage on the car from that.
I don't know. It's hard to say for sure. I've gotten DNF from 12-mile-an-hour collisions before. So
I think we all have. Yeah, there's no wing change down at Williams. It is the medium tyres for the Williams driver. Oh, yellow flag. That's someone who's just reset to track. That's Dylan Carpenter down in P14.
Meanwhile, Van Alzen has overtaken Craig Nock following his error on the previous lap. And Well, there's not really a chance to remunerate for that, except Donaldson has had a not great exit, but there's still nothing to do. Down the back straightaway, here comes DRS for Ollie Durst. I need to look into this court again. He's gonna get ahead before we hit the braking zone. Does Mikey return the favor? He does and covers him completely off. I don't think that damaged his wing any. Meanwhile, in the background, Cameron Dowds is stalking this. If they continue to fight like this, then there's going to be more. It just doesn't stop very far, does it? Anyway, Ferrari looking just as dumb here as it did in 2020. Anyway, we had Parker very close to Christian Pacheco, but nothing came of that either. I find it kind of funny how Tyler McIntosh's AI is in points. Obviously won't be scoring them because, well, McIntosh isn't physically here. But if he did join the race, I think he could actually take over and earn those points. Cameron Dowds has caught up to the Alfa Romeo driver. There's a yellow in sector 1.
Second Alfa Romeo struggling a bit. Maybe blue flags possibly there for Dylan Carpenter. I believe he's let AJ through. No, that would have been Leon. Cameron Dowds maybe line up a move. No, not enough road.
Now there's a yellow in sector 2. I believe it is still Carpenter getting out of the way for other drivers.
Brilliant over there from Cameron up into P2.
I missed that.
That was gone up Mikey now. Yeah, sent it into
we have Hannick and Knickel too wide for 7th, back down up the other braking zone. I think Knickel's going to keep that spot as it's really hard to... never mind, Hannick is going to try to send it anyway around the outside, but I do not think he has... Oh, AJ backs out, so he's going to keep that spot. That was bold, considering we've already seen many an incident there in the AF2 race, which Hannick was a part of. But not an ounce of fear or concern for the McLaren driver.
Yeah. Basically, from the AF2 race, there was a collision through something like that, but AF1, they backed out, they avoided it. That's what should have happened in AF2.
I was seeing some weird defense from Van Alzenbeck here, and I guess that's because he was trying to keep the Red Bull behind him. Is he having an illegal overtake or something? They're also letting Mikey through, so that's part of that as well.
I think the guys at the back here, they're panicking a bit. They're like braking halfway down that straight to make sure they don't hold anyone up.
Yeah, because otherwise they're going to get blue flags, because there's still plenty of cars traveling through here.
They don't need to be driving that slowly. You just kind of put your foot down a bit and lift off the throttle.
And here comes Kinnickle on Hannick. Once again, DRS beeps. Tyre Hazard has re-entered the race 9 laps later. He's honestly not in a terrible position to rejoin, although he will have Christian Pacheco and Johnny Parker for company if he does.
I think he's only just retaken control of his car now. Yellow flag sector 3, has anyone had a moment, or is that blue flags again? I believe that is blue flags. Craig not trying to let anyone by.
It's a Kinnickle this time.
He's just got good consideration. He's trying to make sure he doesn't interfere with the cars a lap ahead.
Cameron Dowd has finally arrived in the pit lane, promoting Carter Ritchie in the AlphaTauri to the lead. As not been the best strategy, he is going to exit several seconds behind his opposition at the front in the form of De Jong, Craig, and Ollie.
Oh my God.
Never mind, he's very close to the Alfa Romeo. I am mistaken on that one. He may have, well, he could have had a shot, but he's not taking it. Probably wise. This corner is not the best passing zone. I don't even know why it's a DRS zone at all.
Even if he gets in front of him for this corner, Ollie Durst is just going to re-overtake him down the long straight anyway.
No, that seems kind of like a Schrodinger's passing zone, a term I coined in the last AF1 race. It's a passing zone, but it's also not a passing zone at the same time. But the straightaway certainly is a passing zone, and Cameron Dowds is going to use it and maybe take 4th place back. Ollie Durst with a huge send, but the inside lane is going to definitely prevail on that instance. It would be in Carter's interest to pit now, before he is getting in the way of the leaders, because they're beginning to catch him. If he doesn't, things will get very scrappy in the near future, I have a suspicion.
I'm just saying,
he does.
Liam Carrig, actually, the net leader, getting that undercut has actually gained him almost 2 seconds on Mikey de Jong.
A very huge thing, but obviously that's going to possibly come back towards de Jong later.
It depends how it goes, really. Liam may need another set of mediums to get to the end, because these mediums, yeah, they're okay for like a medium stint tyre, but the normal strategy would be soft, medium, soft around here. You need to be boxing for softs with about 10 laps to go, and Liam's just going to have to make those tyres work a little bit harder.
Cameron Dowds may be looking for a move on his teammate. As back here for 12th, we still have combat between the cars that are a lap down. Knock, Swiss Carpenter, and Van Alzem are all fighting over 12th place. And Swiss Carpenter with a big penalty. Van Alzem with a big spin almost through this little roundabout. And nothing's happening at the front, really. We have Pacheco with a bit of a run on AJ Knickel. We'll see if that turns into anything. He does convert it into an outside send, but AJ covers the door. Covers the door, closes the door. Jonathan Parker is also catching up to these two, and he's bringing Connor Hannock with him. They're still fighting for 12th. Swiss Carpenter just smacked the wall for whatever reason. And
he's just having another of those sends on the two in front of him. He tried to get two into one at the heavy braking zone, and it just didn't work.
I think Dylan got confused just there. He let Craig knock by. I think he might have thought that was a lapped car, but it isn't.
No,
he's got damage.
Yeah, Dylan's now carrying damage, so...
I had noticed that just as I finished my statement.
At least they're all in together. When they can come out, they can still continue the fight for 12th. I'll tell you what, if race 7 gets boring, I'm pretty sure those two can, or three, can provide a decent show. There's a nice little fight up here in the midfield.
Yeah, I'm currently on board with the Haas and Parker. He's following the racing point kind of closely. This is obviously not what Pacheco wants. He's busy with his own cat and mouse game with AJ Knickel, but he's having to think about every move he makes, because if he makes the wrong one, Parker's going to capitalize. Carter Ritchie has also entered the fray after his pit stop. He's on a fresh set of soft tires, so he might even be a bit of a dark horse candidate to end up with 5th place out of all of this.
There's been a move at the front. Cameron Dowds overtaken him, Mikey de Jong and Liam Carrig for the lead. He's now gently pulling away.
Sure, that happened. I'm busy watching the midfield because there's like a 5-car train here almost.
Yeah, there's, I don't really know where to look at the minute.
Parker's left the session again. I'm not really sure if he ever had control of his car to begin with. I have comments, but I don't really know if I want to look at them because the consistent action...
Do you want me to try and look at the comments if there are any?
If you can. I know there are any. It's popped up. There's 2 of them. I don't know who or what. Pacheco has at some point claimed 5th place from Knickel. Parker's going to try and do it next. He's going to send it a little bit into turn 1, maybe give Knickel a bit of a scare, but ultimately I think that was kind of parted anyway. That was never going to produce a pass that way.
That was,
But that certainly will.
Tyler McIntosh?
Who's the...
Tyler Hazard?
Yeah.
Yeah, it said game wasn't letting him take control of his car, so he's just going back out.
I think that's because of the fact that he wasn't there in the formation lap and he joined so many laps afterward. Meanwhile, very argy-bargy through the little braking zone there. Mikey De Jong barges his way ahead of Craig.
I do love that corner though, because it does allow for some elbows out kind of moments, but as long as no one is being pushed off of that sausage curb, then that's more than fair.
And Parker with a critical time penalty. That's not what he needs at this point. AJ Knickel has been overtaken now by Carter Ritchie. I think those hard tires are beginning to show their true identity here as being not very good. And I think AJ may want to get off of them at his earliest convenience. Parker has totally missed turn 1. That allows the AlphaTauri to draw alongside. Does Parker keep that spot? No, he doesn't. Those soft tires are too much for the Haas driver. And now Carter Ritchie is going to have a very brief look at the racing point ahead, but he has no ERS to show for it, so I don't think he's going to get far there. We approach the DRS straight once again for second and third place cars. De Jong with no ERS and no even yellow fuel light popping up. I don't really know what he's got to defend with other than his car. And again, very elbows out, but
that's probably the hardest it's been at the minute. And there's a tank stuff there from Leo Mees end up causing Ollie Durst, his end plate, to depart the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the the defense you were saying you were trying to not have through that corner.
Yeah, I just wish these two would calm it down a little bit. Otherwise, if we continue the race like this, it's going to get a bit ugly down at that corner. Don't want to see anyone being pushed off the track.
As Ollie Durst has entered the pits again, I guess that's for the end plate. Carter Ritchie is putting Pacheco under immense pressure. He's got some space behind him as Parker is beginning to lose the plot with them. I thought he was going to go for a move, but there was no opportunity. He might... Nope, the door is closed. He can't go around the outside of the roundabout. He'll just have to wait, probably until the back straightaway again. That seems to be the only place that's viable, even though Ritchie is dumping his ERS here, which is ill-advised at best, but he is going to get his front wing in there and back out. Probably the best option, to be perfectly honest. I think even trying to pass into that corner is a god-awful idea. Neither driver has any ERS, but Carter Ritchie will have DRS, and that's worth a heck of a lot more right now. Does he get there in time? He will. He'll get...
Ooh, that's a hell of a dive, but it worked.
Yeah, it was pretty clean looking too, so that's Carter Ritchie into 4th place now, following Ollie Durst's pit stop. Pacheco with no chance of taking it back as things stand either. Johnny Parker has re-entered this conversation. I don't really know if he'll be able to do anything with it, but he certainly got more ERS than the Racing Point ahead does, so I don't know if that'll turn into something or not. His tires are also slightly better than Pacheco's. He pit 1 lap later. Meanwhile, we have Ollie Durst versus Connor Hannock going into T1.
Oh.
As apparently something's happening in Sector 2. I don't know what it is, but that is the position for...
And Van Alzen going at it again, and Craig Nook as well, with 3 wide going down that straight.
Oh boy.
Trying to clear them. Oh my god.
All 3 of them looking kind of foolish here.
Yeah, they're just tripping over each other, and it's... we've got to let the leaders...
They're tripping over each other, but they're still managing to clear the road perfectly fine when the leaders get to them. A big walk up from both, all 3 of them. I don't know what their tires look like by this point, but I think they probably look more like Goodyear's than Pirelli's.
Oh my god.
Another lockup, and gets out of the way. I mean, yeah, I guess if you guys want to keep doing this, as long as you don't get in the way of the leaders that are actually trying to have a normal Grand Prix instead of playing
yeah,
Wreckfest.
I'm pretty sure the back 3 they're going to be penalising each other to high hell come the end of the race.
Another lockup. I think this is intentional at this point. This is like a cruel joke they're playing on me or something. We got Craig Nock going for a pass. Is this going to look like an actual overtake? Oh, what do you know?
Yeah.
Craig Nock actually broke like a normal human being. What do you know? It's not that hard now, is it? And Parker is still right on the Racing Point's gearbox. Big tank slapper for Christian Pacheco, which means Parker's going to be, well, that much better shape. But
sorry, something's got to be done about these 3 at the back.
Another pit stop for Ollie Durst. I do not know. I assume wing damage. Yeah, it is. No, it isn't. That was not a wing pit stop. I don't know what that was for. My mom, despite knowing I'm commentating, chooses to play a video in the background on her phone. That's always nice.
Oh my god. Carpenter's just lost his front wing trying to overtake these 2. I mean, he's got the overtake done, but that, yeah, front wing just departed down the long DRS straight.
Front wing has departed. The front wing declares itself to be out of here. I really do not have... There are no words in the English dictionary for how impossible this is to take seriously back here. Connor Hannock's running on 16-lap-old mediums.
I'm not going to be saying them on stream. It's just... I don't want to disrespect anyone's driving, but from the back 3, some of them are being a bit quite atrocious.
Bit of a wall collision for... I'm sorry, but there's actual racing going on that I would like to commentate over instead of whatever those 3 are doing.
Yeah.
Because Parker and Pacheco are still...
Try to see some good racing there, come on.
Yeah, we got Parker and Pacheco still playing this, like, game of chess around the circuit. Terrible exit out of the roundabout for Parker, which means he's not really going to get a chance here either. Both these drivers have penalties, but they're the same number of penalties, so this is technically for position. And they're not in any danger of losing either of their positions right now, because AJ is almost 5 seconds behind the 2 of them. Not really the greatest deficit to close. They both have plenty of ERS, so that's not really an advantage in Parker's name either. He's not even using overtake, so I don't even know if he's interested in trying yet, for that matter. So I guess we'll just wait another lap for that to reach its conclusion. Meanwhile, the leaders are very spread out still.
It's been a good drive there from Cameron Dowd, managing to pull 6 seconds to his teammate.
We have Dylan Van Alzen blocking Taya McIntosh's AI and also passing Craig Nock along the way, who slowed down exponentially to let Kyler Boggs pass through. He's going to go around the outside of the hairpin, and it kind of looked clean for a moment, but there's nothing doing. Christian Pacheco has entered the pit lane, which will give Johnny Parker 5th place. So he never even had to do anything. Tyler McIntosh's AI has just gotten a penalty for ignoring the yellow flag. How do you ignore the yellow flag? There's no safety car.
Let me just double check that, because I don't think it was for ignoring a yellow.
Well, it's not for ignoring a blue. He's not being lapped at the moment.
Yeah, that was ignoring a yellow. So, I don't know, maybe something to do with the game's coding. Oh my god! The car's upside down. He's rolled at the final corner. Dylan Van Housen's Ferrari is upside down at the final corner.
And with Swiss Carpenter there at the scene of the crime, it's kind of incriminating, but that does bring out a safety car. I think, well, you said it was very hard to do that here, but I think an upside down Ferrari will probably meet the requirements. If that was caused by Swiss Carpenter, then that is absolutely not, because now that's actually affected the rest of the Grand Prix for everybody else that's actually trying to race on the lead lap. So I imagine now at this point everybody and their dog will be entering the pit lane for a set of soft tires. If you don't do so, then I think you're probably a little bit off your rocker.
It's just a bit common sense. We're past the 10 lap point mark now, so yeah, might as well soft so easily make it to the end, and they should be able to push them a little bit further as well. Fresh softs on qualifying, yeah, 10 lap easy. Bear in mind the safety car isn't going to take too much out of their life. Just trying to see if will be a Renault 1-2 come the end of this pit lane. I believe it will, just Liam Carragh having a slightly longer pit stop due to having to hold for the Renault.
It's not going to matter because it's not like he got passed by anybody and run a safety car, so.
Now, at least it's going to close it up again to the absolute dismay of Cameron. I think he would like to have ran away with this.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have, but it's never that easy in Auto Racing Connected. It's never that simple. If it were always that simple, well, I don't think we'd be commentating it. So. I think I could probably take the tire thing off my screen because we already know what everybody that's sane is going to be driving on. Softs. Let's look at the position changes. Carter Ritchie is having a heck of a race today as he's up to 4th from starting 13th on the grid.
He is really good. It's not like he's had to wait for people to make mistakes either. It's just some kind of alternate strategy. It's been a jackpot for him, and this safety car is only going to make him even in a better position. I'd love to see if he can make it to the podium.
Oh, it depends on if we get the same kind of absolute chaos.
Did he actually hit then? Has he gone? Yeah, they've all gone for a fresh set of softs, barring Rasified, Ollie Durst and P13, who's staying up with a set of mediums.
So we're going to have, I believe it'll be a possibly a 6-lap sprint to the checkered flag here. I think it'll be 6. It might be 7.
Yeah, they're all a little bit close this top bunch. I don't think anyone getting a 5-second penalty. I think that if there are any 5-second penalties, I hope the league does remove them. There's no really coming back if anyone gets wing damage at this point.
Jack Nickel is only now getting into the pit lane. I'm not really sure. Well, that was wing damage, I guess. I don't know if he got damage under the safety car or what the heck just happened, but maybe check incidents and see if he collided with somebody just now. Let's go down the relatively long list. It doesn't really look like anybody's hit him lately, so either self-inflicted or the game just didn't record it. This is always, the safety car downtime is always the hardest thing for me to bear when it comes to being a commentator because there's nothing happening. and I don't really have a bunch of things to talk about. We've already gone over standings, so we can pretty much check that off the list.
That's fine. Like, not really more to say than that AlphaTauri. God forbid, I'm sorry that I still don't know everyone's names, but he's drove really well to put him in this position. Definitely my driver of the day so far. Renault's had a pretty good race, and it's been a interesting fight for the midfield that's still yet to continue. So, wishing everyone the best for the remainder of the race.
I still find it hilarious that Ty McIntosh's AI car is still kind of relevant. He's running 7th. Yeah, I mean, I think Carter Ritchie's the only driver who's really moved up the field at all. The only other one that's moved up a lot is Connor Hannock, moving to the points positions after starting pretty much last. Well, actually, no, exactly last. Driver that almost won the AF2 race earlier, so he's already proven that he's had practice, well, more recent practice than the rest of the grid had, so...
Who was that, sorry, who you're on about?
Hannock, who's gone up to 10th from starting last, but he already had prior experience in a racing scenario here, as he had just run the AF2 race right before this one.
Yeah, so his consistency is going to be up there, but whether he has that outright pace to make inroads on everyone in front of him, you may have to still settle for P10, completely different competition standard in AF1.
I think it'd be P9, because McIntosh isn't going to be getting the 7th place. He's not been physically in his car for any point in this race, so...
I just think based on the competition, I'm not expecting Hannock to finish any higher than 5th. But hey, prove me wrong. Because even though there are a few guys with penalties in front of them, but no guarantee as of yet whether they'll be removed or not.
As he also has a penalty, so...
Yeah.
Safety car is going in this lap. We will have a 6-lap run to the finish, as I had previously said would happen. So for once I wasn't wrong when it comes to the safety car. That's quite rare.
It just feels like, because Hanoi is quite a long track, especially when you're taking it at that big long straight at about 50 miles an hour. It feels like it's been ages, but they've only been going on for about 2-3 laps.
It's Renault 1-2 as we get set for the restart here under safety car. Flop around like a fish trying to get the menus off my screen, and we're already flooring it.
Yeah, very good restart from both Renaults.
Gotten way clear of their competition.
Right, let's bring it home, guys. Oh, looks like Craig might be moving out the way for blue flags for some people. That may go straight.
Nidja has to take the escape road through the little roundabout as he ran out of traction. That's going to give Connor Hannock an opportunity to get ahead. So he'll move to 9th. And that's pretty much the only action we've seen happen so far on this restart lap.
Oh no.
Off the lap car.
Craig Nook, I think he might have spun at that roundabout, but his car is okay.
Kyler Boggs going for the overtake on McIntosh's AI car.
Oh, the AI car trying to fight it.
Say, he kind of had to work for that considering it's an AI.
Yeah, not 100%. What AI settings does the league with?
I want to say it's 95. Might be 100.
So yeah, either way, you're still gonna have to work. So yeah, these AI are gonna, if they're for position, they will fight. Or if they are under blue flags, they'll be sensible and move out of the way. Yeah, so Hanuk's just gonna have to treat that Mercedes like it is a physical opponent.
Be a very interesting dynamic because we obviously don't really usually have AI in league races, but we've pretty much got a little special guest today by way of Macintosh's bot.
Tyler Bot.
Tyler Macinbot.
This is closing up for the fight for second.
Also a fight for fourth.
Has been enabled just yet.
It is not. That would be the next lap around. So in other words, not really much chance of anything. We do have Hanuk getting alongside Tyler Macinbot, but backing out, I think. Or no, actually, Macinbot just dumped the ERS. Now here comes AJ Knickel, retaliating, or not retaliating, but returning to a 9th place and sending it on Macinbot, and they'll both get around Macinbot as he head into the hairpin. We're going with that. Macinbot.
That's great. I never thought I'd see an AI actually produce some half decent content.
And we have a VSC for, I think, I don't know what.
Unless, there was maybe a slight coming together. It's Swiss Carpenter. He's lost his front wing. I think maybe just a short period VSC to clear the debris on the road. And there shouldn't even be contact there unless they just ran into each other at the braking zone.
I mean, well, we can't exactly put that out of the realm of possibility at this point.
So I have to go, guys, be sensible. We don't need any drive-throughs this late in the race. Oh dear.
Or collision penalty with AJ? Weird? Okay.
Maybe removed.
I don't know, we'll have to see.
Good restart, no drive-throughs minimum.
I mean, either way, I don't think Canada can get any lower than 10th because of where Ollie Durst is in the pit lane. Actually, couldn't be any lower than 9th because Macinbot's not going to get 9th place. That's going to go right to the other drivers, so...
Yeah, he's not going to be classified in all of this, is he?
No. As much as I wish we could count Tyler Macinbot as a separate driver, we cannot do that.
Oh, Cameron Dowd's big lockup at the end of the long straight.
I caught that, so now the top 3 are going to be under a blanket here with just a little bit over 3 to go.
Sort of race critical there from the top 3. Renault's obviously going to want to secure the 1-2, but still got to work to hold off as Liam's had a shocking run there through the S's. Don't know if that was Dirty Air or his back end stepping out.
Kind of looked like me back here driving through those S's. Three laps to go now, and although they had a bit of a concertina moment going through the hairpin, they've all kind of spread back out. As you can see on the corner of the screen, there's somebody exiting the pit lane and waiting for all the leaders to go by.
Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if that was his 5th front wing. So I've looked at his pit stops. No, bless it. He's not having the best of races, but he's still carrying on.
At what point does determination become foolishness, though? You've made 10 pit stops in a 26-lap time span. 10 pit stops.
That's like, on average, 2 to 3 laps he's in the pits. So if we're lucky, he'll be on the pits again at some point.
Maybe. And Karg's got a bit of a run on Mikey DeJong. What will come of it? They're going to get there. They're going to get wheel to wheel. And so Liam tight. Breaks a little bit extra, tries a crossover, but a big tank slapper for both drivers. But still nothing. At some point, Johnny Parker also got ahead of the AlphaTauri, so that will be a podium for him pretty much not happening. Christian Pacheco behind is also getting close to this battle for 4th. He may take part, but he's got a penalty. So does Parker, actually, so if Carter Ritchie can stay close, he'll still get that fourth anyway. And maybe he just let Parker go knowing that, who knows. You just hear immense clacking of the L2 and R2 buttons as we try and look through the field to look for anything we can look at. We're heading to another DRS train, or DRS zone here. This is the one you don't want to pass in, this is just the one you use to stay close, more or less.
Yeah. Cameron may still get the win from this, but this podium is still not guaranteed to finish in the way that it is.
You know, this is way too close to call right now. I mean, yeah, advantage Dowds, but like, something crazy could still happen, especially if he locks up at this hairpin again.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a huge DRS straight, and no guarantee is going to be at the front of it from the end. The MD, Mikey struggling on ERS, Liam as well. Not really anywhere for both of them to go.
Yeah, no, there's nothing doing. Why is he here? He's not aware Braden Sisko's ever here. Doesn't really seem to be doing much back here either, so there's a bit of wing on the track. I don't know from who. Probably never know. It is the final lap for Cameron Dodds and his entourage of podium competitors behind him. But they're really spread out, and neither of them have ERS except for Dowds' decent chunk. Mikey's got a little bit, but they're going to end up using that on this next straightaway anyway, even if they don't put it in overtake, so...
Just checking, who has the fastest lap? Still Cameron Dowd on 35.9, unlikely to be beaten at this point in the race.
Yeah, no, Dirty Air is going to probably reject that completely at this point in time.
I don't think he has even had that off the safety car restart. Despite lower fuels, fresher tyres, but maybe the lack of DRS. I mean, DRS possibly.
Yeah, there's all three of them still out of battery, so I don't think we're going to get anything down this long straightaway. No, it's just going to be,
It's either this corner or the penultimate corner. Only real possible overtaking opportunities. But unlikely considering the track width.
Yeah, and nothing happened through that braking zone. And I'd be surprised if there was anything in this corner, because there's nobody near each other. So, I think it's relatively safe to say.
Done it.
Yep.
One corner to go, as long as they don't bottle it through the final corner.
Reverse commentator's curse. A 1-2 for Renault, led by Cameron Dowds, winning the Vietnamese Grand Prix.
Fastest lap as well. Good job, guys.
Carter Ritchie will take 4th place following penalties applied. And Connor Hannock from last will end up getting 2 points out of the affair after Tyler Mackenbot getting 9th place despite being, you know, an AI. And even as we're at the last corners of the race, we've got Craig Knock and these other two being that. That seems like a very fitting way to end their race.
Undisputed driver of the day, I think. He's done really, really well.
It's not even showing me that, but I'm assuming it said, showed the AlphaTauri driver.
Right. Don't know about you, I'm more than happy to stick around for podium interviews.
If you can get the podium drivers in here, then I'll do it. Then you can do it, but I don't really do the interviews.
I don't mind doing the speaking as long as you can keep the stream going, it's all I ask.
Yeah, I can keep the stream running. Believe me, my internet is perfectly fine. I'm right next to the router.
Are you wired, by the way, or do you run wireless?
I'm wired.
Yeah, your internet should be god tier then.
Yeah. Well, that's why I just said I never had problems in the past. The past, in my case, is 5 years of being an ARC. I've never had a problem with the internet. So... Maybe I'd have you as the co-commentator more often, because I basically at this point had stopped doing podium interviews after the party system flipped everything around, and I'm just not very good at the whole interrogation race reporter aspect of doing that. So...
There's one.
Oh no! I don't know.
How are you guys doing?
Very interesting.
What up, Liam?
Well, Jesus, Mikey, that battle was amazing. I was enjoying myself.
I know.
Mate, I was under a lot of pressure, but you held it off. Oof.
Oof, that was close.
Yeah, very, very.
I don't know. When I passed you on the straight, was that okay?
No, I was a little bit annoyed. You didn't give me enough room to turn, so...
Yeah, no, I noticed that and I was like, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get this road on the show. Shifters, Liam.
Yeah, what's up?
Really good qualifying. I think you were ahead of both runners come the start of the race, but
Aye.
a little bit of a changing the places at the start. How was your race though? Think clean? Think maybe things could have been a bit better? Or do you agree that your tyre strategy was the best?
Just about qualifying there for a sec. I was held up by that one Portuguese dude, Kyler. So that compromised my my quali time, but it didn't. What do you call it? Really matter.
It didn't matter.
Yeah. As the race itself, it could have been cleaner. Off the start, it was a very botchy, very botchy. I think I could have done a little bit better, and I had with some wing damage during the medium stint, so I was just falling off the cliff there. So yeah, the safety car with Mikey as well, that was amazing, and congrats to Cameron Dowds.
Yeah, really good racing from you. I believe the next race will be heading to China on the new game. Big unknown for everyone, but your thoughts on China as a whole?
China on the new game should be fun. Hopefully track limits will be not as strict there, but knowing Cody's, they probably put it as strict as possible.
It's the same corner cutting penalties as before.
Yeah.
So they did not change anything there.
Oh, well then, should be more of the same stuff.
Yeah, good race. So we're going to move on to you, Mikey. P2 in the race. Don't want to talk too much about the inter-team strategy. You guys were free to race, but you think Cameron just had edged you out on race pace today?
I mean, me and Cameron has been practicing before, and I have seen that he was way quicker than me on lap times. So I rather had him winning than losing a lot of points for the constructors championship. And Liam was also, I know Cameron was also helping me out with Liam, giving me DRS and slipstream, which helped me a lot. Otherwise, I would have lost my second place a lot earlier. But yeah, for the first lap, I was quite confused what Liam and whoever that was, the Ferrari, I think, did in the hairpin. I just switched back and I was in front of both of them. And then from there I was slowing down Liam, Ollie and like those kind of people to get Cameron back into the podium and back into the winning place. So yeah, that's literally what I've been doing all race.
Yeah, you drove well. I think even as a 1-2, you deserve it. Obviously, Championship leader Lee Kelly not being here, pretty sure you're happy to make up some ground on him, but still P3 in the drivers. What are your thoughts about the next game and heading into China? I think you might need to work a little bit more.
I mean, it's a new game. It's a new handlings model, so I'll be surprised if I'm doing good for my first race. I'll definitely practice a lot. So yeah, I mean, you can expect or high positions or either just DNF.
That's right. You just keep up the hard work. You're doing a really good job. Going to move on to Cameron. First of all, really well done on that win. Fully deserved it considering the pace you had as well. Take us through your race though. I mean, qualifying it looked a little bit stressful, and also at the start of the race, you kind of had to work yourself a bit to put yourself in podium contention.
Yeah, qualifying, I was livid. You know, at the end of Q3, I was purple first sector by, I think it was 2 tenths, and in the practice races, me and Mikey were I was doing consistent 32.5s, and then to go and do a 33.3 and damage my front wing 2 times, I was pretty unhappy. And then at the start, I kind of got pinched, and then I kind of understeered like into Dylan, and then made contact with him. Luckily, no damage. And then coming towards the end of the middle sector, he broke himself, went into the back of me. I think it was 8th or 9th, and then I did some risky passes in the S's. And then Mikey, I was really thankful for him because we were working together, and he was kind of holding up Liam and Ollie to get me back into the race. And then after the safety car, I was trying to work with Mikey. I was taking it really slow in the final sector so we could get my DRS and get the 1-2. But yeah, I'm really happy with that result, and to bounce back from 9th or 8th on lap 1. Really happy with that result.
And same question as before. New game coming up by the end of July. Expected to be China. Your thoughts on China as a circuit?
No. I don't like China that much. My NHRL race there didn't go very well. I think we came 10th or 9th. But yeah, maybe on the new game it'll be a little bit better to drive on. Yeah, I'll just see when I get to the new game. But on this game, I don't enjoy China that much. And especially controller players, they're rapid there. The likes of Liam, Lee, all them guys, they're rapid on China.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to round it off there. You're free to close out stream whenever you want.
Yeah, I've been here the whole time. I'm not good with the whole questions. My job is just to keep the stream running and put the camera on the rental car in the fucking showroom, so...
No, it's perfectly fine. Yeah, good racing, Molly. Really well done for the top 3.
So that'll do it for today's stream. Ignore that the fact that the airport just up there. It's neither here nor there. At the end of the stream, it's not really for one more. Till I think it's a couple weeks from now when we get into that Chinese Grand Prix. Give everyone time to actually get the new game. I don't even know how that's going to work for me, to be perfectly honest with you, because, I mean, I'm getting a new game just to commentate, pretty much. I don't really know if that's going to really roll through, the person in charge of my finances. So, anyways, until then, it may not be me, it might be, I don't know, but it doesn't matter.